Lord Malloch-Brown said the G20 meeting would aim to address the implications the financial crisis is having on the developed and developing world. He said the global crisis demands a global response.
The real sufferers in this crisis, which as always are the world's poor and poorer countries. Now, when the first of these summits was held in Washington in November, you could still plausibly believe that this was a financial crisis largely limited to the Western financial markets. But by now, and I fear it will be even clearer by the 2nd of April, it's quite clear that we're dealing with a much profounder, more far-reaching crisis that touches really on the pocketbooks and household incomes and family security and job security of people everywhere.
He said upholding the principle of free markets was a key part of the summit.
It has been really striking to me, travelling on behalf of this G20 meeting, the strength of feeling amongst developing countries for the completion of the Doha trade round. And as someone who was head of UNDP at the time this trade round began, when I was constantly being buffeted between a northern government enthusiasm for this trade round and a lot of developing countries' scepticism about it, I'm very struck at how the argument has shifted during the period of the negotiation, where countries such as South Africa and Brazil have been absolutely firm in demanding that this creeping protectionism in Europe and the US be arrested, and have pushed hard for a return as quickly as possible to Doha and to a completion of that trade round.
But any recovery should be green, with a move towards low-carbon economies and greater energy security.
What we do want to make sure is, if we're going to inject a lot of capital into developing countries as well as into our own, to create jobs, to stimulate demand, to push economic recovery, we want to make sure that the infrastructure and other and energy that is developed with these resources is green.
He concluded by summarising what the G20 will set out to achieve.
This summit has grown in its ambition, if you like. It is still a summit about the crisis and recovery, but it's not about returning to the world as it was, if you like, before the crisis. It envisages a more cautious, better managed global financial sector. But above all else, it envisages using the crisis to try and address issues of development, climate and trade, and of jobs in a way which is sustainable for the future.
All eyes will now turn to London and how much of this the G20 summit in April can achieve.